A massacre, a trail of evidence, and an all too common perpetrator. Al Arabi's open source verification team found new evidence that Israel, and no other, is behind the bloodshed of the Baptist hospital in Gaza. We start with geolocation and comparing the geographic features from the videos circulating for the hospital. They all match, and they confirm that the explosion that killed hundreds was in this exact location. From that same location, Al Arabi cameras were able to capture details of the place and identified the very point at which the bomb was dropped and the crater it left behind. All this data and parameters led our team to determine the exact geolocation using satellite images which proved that the bombing occurred in these coordinates. By getting closer to the bombing site, we observed severe damage to vehicles in this parking lot, which indicates they were too close to the center of the explosion. But how severe was the damage caused? Our tool this time is Google Maps, via which we can draw the area boundaries, as shown in the circulating videos. Our team was able this time to determine the affected geographical area, which amounted to approximately 6,000 cubic meters, with a perimeter length of about 313 meters. A day after the deadly bombing of the Baptist hospital, the occupation forces bombed near Al-Quds hospital in Al-Hawa area in Gaza. The hallmarks of this new bombing provided additional evidence to our investigation. First, we analyzed circulating pictures of Al-Quds hospital area to ensure its authenticity and compare the surroundings. The results of our analysis confirmed that the images indeed belonged to a bombing in the vicinity of Al-Quds hospital, specifically at the following coordinates. The aftermath of both bombings on both hospitals had similar features, which indicates using the same weapon. The bomb in both attacks had the same sound as it fell and as it exploded, which we see in these two clips. We took all the evidence we found to Dylan Griffith, a former combatant in the US Army who experienced this particular type of bombs during his time in Afghanistan.
Typically, a JDAM has a characteristic sound. It has that guidance system, the fins, which make that characteristic whistling sound on its way down. There are also a large number of other JDAMs being dropped that have a similar characteristic, the same sound signature, the same type of explosion. All of the evidence does seem to point to this being a Israeli munition.
US-made JDAMs are equipped with a guidance kit that transforms them from free-range bombs into precise and intelligence-guided munitions. These bombs rely on GPS, which is consistent with the scenes we've documented of the bombing of the Baptist hospital in such a small area crowded with displaced people. JDAM system relies on producing massive clusters of shrapnel, which can cause a heavy death and injuries too, but not significantly impacting surrounding buildings or infrastructure. This is exactly what happened in the bombing of the Baptist hospital. We also observed that in both hospital explosions, there was an oval-shaped cloud with a distinctive orange color. There were also some burning fragments that shone clearly after the bomb fell. In the same video, camouflage flash bombs appear before the shell falls on Al-Quds hospital, which indicates the activity of Israeli fighter jets. This also indicates that the sound resulting from the explosion was caused by an airstrike shell and not a missile by the Palestinian resistance, as Israel claimed in the case of the Baptist hospital.
It is my understanding that the launch that people are alluding to as being something that could have possibly caused this incident was a barrage of rockets that were not at that higher size. So what we would expect to see from a failed rocket like that would be something tumbling down, a bit of a slower explosion, not as much velocity, and there would not be the sound which is characteristic of a JDAM guidance system.
One of the types of the JDAM bombs is called the Mk-82, a 500-pound warhead that is often called the general purpose bomb. The damage caused by this particular type of JDAM is consistent with what we saw in the area of the Baptist hospital, which is only about 6,000 square meters. Israel owns JDAM bombs, purchased from their ally, the US, in several commercial sales over the past decade. Another line of our investigation into the Baptist hospital bombing was how could the JDAM bombs produce a small crater and such a large number of casualties? The Israeli occupation army tried to blame the Palestinian resistance over the crime in the Baptist hospital, claiming that the relatively small crater resulted from a rocket. Our analysis discredits these allegations, with facts which confirm that the JDAM bombs can be equipped with either a proximity fuse or sensors so that it can explode high above the target and not upon impact.
A JDAM is simply a guidance system which can be fitted to any number of munitions, and there can be a multitude of explosive payloads and fuses which can be added over top of that guidance system to allow for it to do any number of things. In this case, it's my belief that this is an airburst munition, was set to detonate at a certain altitude or a certain distance above the ground. Rather than leaving a large crater, it would have had a large concussive radius. It would have thrown shrapnel in a wide radius, causing a large number of casualties. It would penetrate a lot of structures, but not necessarily outside of the immediate vicinity have the kind of earth-shattering destructive effect that you would see from JDAMs equipped with penetrators that are designed as bunker busters or to destroy whole buildings.
And here is more video evidence to that. Our team in Al Arabi Open Source Verification Unit identified a clip showing clearly the ability of these bombs to explode before hitting the target. Only a small part of the warhead falls, which explains the small size of the crater in the Baptist Hospital explosion. We compare that to explosions of JDAM bombs in Afghanistan. The resemblance is beyond doubt. All the evidence we gathered on the ground, from the analysis of photos and videos, and from the information available online, indicates that it was the US-made bomb, JDAM, that targeted the Baptist Hospital in Gaza, and that it's the occupation army and no other who stands behind this war crime.